This is Boston Jimmy with Stogie Press. I'm sitting here with the founder of Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust, Steve Saka.
Sounds so official when you say it that way, doesn't it?
It is official. So actually, the first question is Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. Tell people about why that name is.
Well, Dunbarton is actually the town that we live in New Hampshire.
Okay.
And I like two things. I tend to like things that are very classic. So when I say the word Dunbarton, it just almost sounds like an old English name. It sounds like it's a really well-established thing. So I like the way it sounds. And the and trust part was when we started the company in 2015, I was in negotiations to buy a bank building, an old bank building, and it had been open for like 9 years. So I was pretty sure we were going to be able to buy it because nobody had been in there for 9 years. And then I learned after the fact why. The guy that owns it wants stupid money for it, like 4 times more than what it's worth. And so I wasn't able to close the deal, but I had already registered the company name. So we were already incorporated as Dunbarton Tobacco and Trust. So, so the and trust part, it's a little bit of a lie at this point. But eventually that guy's going to die. And his kids know I want the building, so I'm going to be the first guy they call.
There you go.
I'm going to get that building.
Good. So tell me about your new blends. We've all gone through the Margarita, we've gone through the Sober Mesa.
The one that we're really focusing on this year is the 3rd edition to our core brand portfolio. It's called Todos Los Días, and it's a Nicaraguan puro. It's primarily made of, it's not, I keep saying primarily, but I don't know why I keep saying it. It's made out of jalapa and Esteli tobaccos. And it's 4 different filler tobaccos and also a jalapa binder and wrapper. The wrapper is a sun-grown criollo, but it's very different than most sun-grown criollos because it's very, very fine in texture. Most sun-grown criollos are very thick. This one is, it almost looks more like an Ecuador Habano than actually looking like a Criollo. And I chose it because the blend's very, very heavy, and I wanted the wrapper to give me a good, clean combustion rate. Otherwise, it would require a tremendous amount of touch-ups. I mean, when you smoke a Nicaraguan puro, you're normally used to having to adjust and touch up, and I mean, it's not going to burn as clean as like Sober Mesa will, but I didn't want it to become a problem child. So I ended up going with this thinner, but it takes a lot of sorting to get the cap I need. And it's kind of a weird blend because and again, this is always relative. Everybody has their own perception as to what strong is. I find Todos Los Días to be incredibly strong, okay? But the caveat is it doesn't begin that way. So with most strong cigars, you light them and instantly like, oh my gosh, this is strong. And you get a heavy dose of black pepper. Todos Los Días instead, actually, it gives you no black pepper. And it's actually just kind of smooth and flavorful in the beginning. And what you'll start to notice is it actually gives you this kind of weird, sweet, cayenne chili pepper. So instead of it hitting the tip of your tongue, it's going to slowly start to warm the sides of your palate, and then eventually it's going to coat the back of your palate. So it's kind of like, when you eat like a good mole, how it just gives you this kind of long, lingering, increasing intensity, and that's what happens with this cigar. And even when you're just an inch into it, you're going to say, this isn't that strong. But after about an inch and a half, give it a quick retrohale, and you'll know right away. It's very strong. And by the time you get down to the band on that cigar, it's a real nicotine bomb. So it's a kind of a very weird, strong cigar because it doesn't deliver to the smoker the way they're used to getting it. So whether consumers will like it or not like it, I don't know, but what I can promise them is that it'll be a much different smoking experience than they've ever had before. It's unique, it's different, which is, I like to try to give people something that they haven't experienced before. And Todos Los Días, I don't know yet. It's too early, We'll see what happens. I think, in the early going, I have a half Churchill size. It's a 4 7/8 by 48, and I seem to be picking more and more of those because I have to tell you, I do find the larger ones when I get to the end of them. It's quite heavy even for me. So, but I'm curious. How will they age? What will they be like a year from now? You know what I mean? I don't know that answer at this point. all I can do is speculate.